Good morning. Good morning. Here, roadtoroota.com, your morning BIX news or Horn of Z's, as we call it. Very interesting day. Let's get into it. I'm going to go over one of my very favorite silver news sites in general, Silver Doctors. Great site. If you're interested in silver, you're interested in the things we talk about, Silver Doctors does a great job in putting together news and information on silver and information on gold, information on all the things covered at Road to Ruta. I'm a big fan. I read it all the time. So yeah, go over to Silver Doctors and sign up with them and get their newscasts and pay attention to what's going on. There's a lot going on, especially in the silver world. As I get deeper and deeper into my latest book about the Grand Canyon gold, more and more people coming out of the woodwork saying, no, there's no more than 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools of gold. Same old story. They say, look at the figures that the government have published. It goes back hundreds of years. And these are the same people who say, oh, government's lying to us when they say they don't rig the silver price. Who are you going to believe and when you want to believe it is very interesting. Yeah, the government figures say there's 180,000 tons of gold that's ever been mined. The government, and I believe that, I completely believe those numbers. Those are the numbers that the government puts out. That doesn't mean that's all the gold that's ever been found, nor does it mean you should believe it. So it could be higher, it could be lower. The key is to find out what else has been going on behind the scenes in the financial system. And if you don't understand by now that the financial system is rigged and there are secret dealings behind the scenes, especially in the most important commodity known to man in the history of finance, gold, to pretend that the government will only tell you the exact truth in the gold world is naive at best. So I don't listen to those critics very much at all, but other people do, because these critics, most of them come out with good stuff, good reporting on what the government reports, and I use that information, and then I add to it all the hidden and secret gold that the government has found and hides away, and that is lying in wait in the Chocolate Mountain in California. Great kind of sleuthing by a woman named Karen Bixman, no relation, on that gold discovery, huge, gigantic, probably right up there with the Grand Canyon gold, which is a different one. But yeah, the Chocolate Mountain gold is now in a military, half in a military base and half in a desert wildlife preserve that Dianne Feinstein set up. She's set up a lot of those in California. All the gold area in Southern California has been cordoned off as a desert wildlife preserve to save the spotted toad or whatever her excuse is. What happens in reality is that gold that was discovered is sitting and laying in wait, and that gold never hits the official numbers. So those who say, oh, it's 180,000 tons are smoking hopium. Hopium, that gold is very rare. I'm not saying that gold's not going to go up massively in U.S. dollar amounts. It will, because of the amount of U.S. dollars that are out there. The electronic and the derivatives on the U.S. dollar. Derivatives in general are forms of money in a strange, bizarre way in our electronic world. Anyway, let's go through the Silver Doctors articles. First one, critical short-term silver price trend put into perspective. This is written by SRS Rocco. Love the guy, Steve, over there, but he's completely wrong in his calculation of amount of gold available in the world. And he loves to call out my articles. He misquotes me all the time. The latest he put out talking about the amount of gold out there, he said, I got all my information from the Arizona Gazette. This is on the Grand Canyon gold. From the Arizona Gazette announcement in, I think it was 1909, that Egyptian artifacts are found in the Grand Canyon, which I believe absolutely they were. and the Smithsonian is knee deep in that. But that's not what I based any of. I didn't even talk about that in my research on the Grand Canyon gold. It all started with an article in 1912, the front page of the New York Times, saying there was a massive amount of gold found in the Grand Canyon, billions of ounces, very specific about what was going on there. Billions meaning multiple billions. A lot found in the silt, also in the sand near this site. And it's now cordoned off in a military. There's a military base in there that has been, a friend of mine has actually been to. Hold on one second here. And the reality of that got me started doing the research on the Grand Canyon gold. And it led to many places, into lawsuits in the 1930s. All kinds of things have gone on in the Grand Canyon. And then the mysterious gold bars, the Chinese gold bars, with pictures of the Grand Canyon on them, talking about a $300 million gold loan in 1933. There's a lot of research I've been doing on this, so SRS Rocco does not know what he's doing when he tries to go down the conspiracy realm, because he refuses to talk about it. He refuses to talk about Yamashita's gold. I have 3 CDs of government documents, testimony, and Peggy and Sterling Seagrave did an amazing job tracking down that gold, Yamashita's gold, and what it turned into. Slush fund for the CIA, basically, and set up all these banks that would control this gold. And that's where the CIA got their secret black funds. Probably a lot of the secret space program was funded through the Yamashita's gold. But that's 280 to 300,000 tons of gold, and completely uncalculated in SRS Rocco's latest report. Doesn't even go there. Doesn't even touch it. Doesn't touch the Chocolate Mountain gold. Doesn't touch the Grand Canyon gold. All the gold around the world. Doesn't touch the Nazi gold. So take what you will from the government documents and then add the conspiracy stuff, and you'll get a better idea. Not all of it, but probably most of it that's documented. And that's what I like to do at the Road to Ruta. Anyway, keep going on. Preparing for the reign of the first widow. Numerous reports indicate that Bill Clinton's health is failing. Numerous reports have reported that Hillary Clinton is already dead, which I believe that she did die. Body doubles and all that stuff were clearly used. That time she passed out in New York, I think it was on July 4th. And then all of a sudden came out, they said she had pneumonia and got really sick or something to that effect. And then a couple hours later, she comes out and, gives a hug to this little girl as she's walking out of the, out of her daughter's apartment. Completely ridiculous. You're being lied to every step of the way. Is Clinton dead yet? I don't know, but I hope they both are in seriously ill condition, because the world does not need human beings like that, and history will show what they have done, along with the Bushes, along with Obama, along with a lot of people. There'll be some eyes opening in the very near future, hopefully. Navy deploys anti-submarine aircraft off the California coast. Speculation that a Russian or North Korean sub has been spotted. No doubt. I mean, we are at that point. Nobody wants the bad guys within the United States to start firing off nukes, but that's what the bad guys want, because they're at the end of their reign. So, yes, I think the good guys got this under control for the most part. China and the U.S. and Russia are all working together in this game, and hopefully, I believe that will prevail. If they don't, then we go to war. And life goes on, hopefully, and if it doesn't, then we start again, probably, in some kind of reincarnated situation. But no, I think the good guys, we've gotten this far. Those people turning on Trump, he's gotten this far based on what the good guys have brought him, how far they've brought him. He would have never been elected had the bad guys been in charge. So keep that in mind when you hear all this bad things about war about to start and things like that. Maybe limited in North Korea. It's the last stronghold of the bad guys. North Korea is completely controlled by the Rothschilds and the Bushes and in that gang of people. Not a good group of people. Goldman agrees with Trump. USA needs a lower dollar. the value of the dollar. Remember, the dollar, when they say lower dollar, all they're saying is it's in relation to other currencies. They're not talking in relation to gold. They're not talking in relation to silver. They're talking the dollar strength is in relation to the pound and the yuan, and it's not a freely traded thing. It's absolutely not. It's traded with computers and derivatives. Actually, free-floating currencies was... It didn't come around till after we went off the gold standard in 71, and Paul Volcker was the guy who set up the floating currency regime, how you determine the value of currencies versus each other. So when you hear the strong dollar, it's not that it's a great currency, it's in relation to all the other currencies, which the euro is falling apart. Of course, it's going to be strong against the euro, and the yuan's under control of the Chinese, but all currencies are under control of the computer programs out of the basement of the treasury. It's easy to do with derivatives, and that's what they do. Moving on. Dow falls again as geopolitical shaking forces investors to race for the exits. Dun, 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 race for the exits. It's still over 20,000. That's not a race for the exits. A race for the exits will be a $2,000-$3,000 drop in a day, and then another $2,000-$3,000 drop the next day. And a lot of that, if you can get your money out, a lot of that's going to be looking for safe haven assets like gold, like especially silver, and like a Bitcoin, and I think Ethercoin too, if you're into the blockchain. Those are my four favorites. I am a fan of gold. I don't own any anymore. I swapped it all for silver. And the reason I did that is because the silver story is much better. And you can say what you want, but if gold rises because of all the reasons it should rise, silver will rise massively more in a freely traded market. I think 70 times as high as gold. So if gold triples, silver will rise, what's that? It's 3 times 70. 210 times from where it is today, which is $18. Do the math. 210 times 18. I'm not going to do it. A lot of my articles, you'll see math like that. And although I believe it should be in a freely traded market. Yes, silver should be trading in the tens of thousands of dollars today. But it's not freely traded yet. So the math is kind of a mental exercise you can do to get excited about the price of silver. Silver docs. Yeah, buy silver from them. Support their cause. They do a lot of work. And their work is good work. And if you want the news of the day as related to silver and gold and exciting things going on, go to Silver Doctors. It's like a newscast for you, Silver Doctors. So be kind to me. They usually are. They get what I do. All right, where are we? Peter Schiff warns nothing has changed under Trump. We're headed for a major crisis. I love Peter. we say a lot of the same things, except he doesn't understand cryptocurrencies, which is fine. He'll come around when Bitcoin's in the $1 million range probably, and he needs to go buy a cup of coffee, and he can't do it with his silver and gold because it's too valuable, too expensive, and you can't make change. So he'll buy some cryptocurrencies just to get a cup of coffee. Death spiral for the LBMA gold and silver auctions. That criminal enterprise is dying fast. It'll die. The LBMA will die before the COMEX because the LBMA claims to be a physical market. They claim to transfer 130 billion ounces of silver every year. The insanity of that number always makes me laugh. And that's the number for 2016, 130 billion. And that's the low side estimate because they net their transfers, meaning the gross transfer is over 3 times the net, according to JP Morgan's head trader. I did an article on that a couple of videos ago. Oh, by the way, subscribe to this YouTube stuff that I'm doing. This is 17 years of research that I'm transferring from the written word onto YouTube for the masses, because more and more people are discovering the road to Ruta, discovering what it means, discovering what it is, and it's exciting. So there's going to be a lot more YouTube videos. Go back in the archives of this YouTube. If you want to learn about silver and why silver is manipulated, and gold, how much gold there is out there, go to roadtoruta.com. And you get a free book if you subscribe to the website. Just put your email in. You get a free PDF book called Silver, Gold, Bitcoin, and God. It's pretty deep. It's a good one, though. You'll like it. 2017 debt crisis. Once their vacation ends, Congress will have 4 days to avoid another government shutdown. Congress is doing what they are supposed to do. They're supposed to destroy the U.S. dollar. That is the plan. That was always the end of the road to Ruta, is to destroy the dollar and then go back to a gold standard. The Fed Boston wrote it in the sand with the Road to Ruta comic books. Go back. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to go to the website and do some searches. If you have any question, how are they going to destroy the dollar? Things like that. Go to the Road to Ruta website and you will learn. Now's the time to learn. Alistair McLeod, great silver analyst, gold analyst, smart guy. But that's the thing I already know about gold and silver. And if you've been doing it for, I'm in 17 years now. I started off with Bill Murphy and the GATA guys and kind of went on my own when they didn't want to go to the conspiracy side. That's the amazing thing. GATA's like mainstream conspiracy. And then in 2007, I discovered the Road to Ruta stuff coming out of the Fed Boston. I was like, oh my God, this is so much deeper than what the GATA guys are talking about. It goes to the U.S. Treasury and the Fed working together with computer programs written by Alan Greenspan in the 1960s and 70s to rig the markets. And we are just now learning that the government is in every computer component that you have, and if they can take all your information from you, for everything you plug in your computer, your laptop, your phone, your car, why don't you think that they have done it since the beginning introduction of computers in the 60s and 70s? And they have. Electronic assets were invented by Alan Greenspan. I have proven that time and time again. He was one of the first computer programmers, and his job at the Fed and the U.S. Treasury, when he worked secretly for them in the 70s, was to control the markets in an off gold standard type of world. Yeah, it's proven. So if you believe that the government is spying on you through your computers, then you have to believe in the Road to Ruta theory, which says the government controls all markets with computers and derivatives. All right. Gold. London gold fix breakdown. Signal for a gold mega move. Sure. Mega move where, though? I mean, if the LBMA shuts down and the COMEX, the derivatives market, shuts down, where are we going to see the mega move? It'll be there and everybody trying to get their hands on it, but no one will know the price. Those are only two places that price silver. And so, yeah, there'll be a time when you have no idea how much your silver's worth, how much your gold is worth. But when markets start up again, probably months later, you'll have a better idea. Or if you're going to try to get some supplies to eat, see, the problem is most people don't even know the what gold and silver mean in the world. So there'll be a lot of education as to why your gold is valuable, why your silver is valuable. I think the government has plans on doing that. It's clear from the Fed documents that they plan to educate the world about gold. So we'll see what happens. Just be ready to sit and wait for a while, gold and silver bugs, when the crash happens. Golden nuggets of truth. The mark of the beast is already here. Not even sure what they're talking about. The mark of the beast, everybody's saying it's digital. It would be digital. 666 is very much a digital component, and most likely it has to do with computers. And you could say Bitcoin is part of the mark of the beast. You could say electronic money is part of the mark of the beast. But the mark of the beast is all about the bad guys. If the bad guys win this war for our sovereignty, then yes, they will institute their mark of the beast type of monetary system where you cannot buy or sell goods without their approval and their mark on you. But if the bad guys don't win and the good guys win, you can throw the mark of the beast right out the window, because we'll go back to a more sane type of free will money, like gold, like silver, like Bitcoin. So very interesting times coming up. Surprise, guess what? Sinister endgame. Trump's generals are planning for Syria. This is all a ploy. The whole Trump pivot to the dark side is a complete con, and it's working like a charm. Even the alt media is starting to hate on Trump, and now he had to do it. He had to do it because of the perception of his Russian ties and all that. But yeah, Russia and China and the U.S. are working together to take down the bad guys. It's not easy. It's not going to be easy. It was never going to be easy. But that's what we're living through right now. Gold prices spiked to 2011 trend line. It's funny that, you know, everybody gets excited when gold goes up, you know, 10, 20 bucks, and gets excited when silver goes up 10 cents or 20 cents. Ridiculous. I mean, it's all rigged on a computer. You remember when silver was up in the $40 to $50 range? We're like, oh yeah, it's going to run, it's going to run. No, it was rigged. It was brought up on purpose from $20 up to $50, and then it was slammed down on May 1st, 2011. All part of the plan. Bill Daley is the guy who was in charge of that. He is Jamie Dimon's, they call him the leader of the SWAT team at JP Morgan. In January of 2011, he went and served as Obama's chief of staff. Very interesting that the head of Jamie Dimon's SWAT team goes and serves as Obama's chief of staff. As soon as he got in the door, the price of silver went from $20 to $50 for 3 months on a straight 45-degree angle. And then May 1st, they slammed it down, and then they slammed it all year. And when he left office in January of 2012, it was right back to the $20, $25 range. It was a one-year plan to destroy the sentiment in silver, and it did it. And it has been held down ever since. Insanity. I did a full report on it called JP Morgan's Operation Silver Slam. But this goes on every day, so this is nothing new. Let's go down to gold stock bull upside targets. Mining companies I am not a fan of for various reasons. The most important reason is what they hold in the ground is way too valuable and will be nationalized and should be nationalized. When nobody has anything, all the money has been evaporated and destroyed by the banking collapse. The people of every country will nationalize anything they can get their hands on, and the easiest is the centralized accumulation of gold and silver. So yeah, third-party vaults and mining companies will be nationalized, and all your friends and neighbors who you've been screaming at to get into gold and silver will vote for the nationalization too. Because we're talking about a handful of people getting rich because they bought mining stocks versus the survival of the citizenry of the United States. Which will win out? I tell you my vote. My vote is nationalize all mines, nationalize all metal that they can get their hands on. That doesn't mean there's going to be confiscation on an individual level. I think it'd be impossible to do because you just go hide your silver and gold, and if they say, well, we have information that you bought it, just say, I sold it, or I lost it, or it burned up in a fire. Do what they do. Like with the DTCC vault that flooded and then caught on fire. But yeah, so nationalization is more than likely, but confiscation is not very likely. In the BIX weird theory and the road to Ruta theory. But it's very clear that the U.S. goes back to a physical gold standard in the Road to Ruta documents that came out of the Fed. That's their plan, and they have been saving up a lot of gold to distribute amongst the people. In the Banking Basics comic, it has a kid walking into a bank and cashing in, I think it's 19 one-ounce coins of gold. Just an everyday transaction for him. So yeah, I think there's a lot of gold going to be coming out. Eric Sprott, love Eric. Listen to what he says. He's a smart guy. He's been screwed by the mining companies and by the riggers for a long time, and the mining companies. I mean, the mining companies. Another thing against the mining companies is they refuse to go there when it comes to talking about market manipulation. GATA, it's unbelievable that GATA has had to fight the mining companies for them to get on board. A couple have gotten on board, but it's just a sad industry when the leaders of the industry are too afraid of the central bankers to stand up and say what is obviously real. Another reason why silver and gold mining companies will be going away. Hey, look at that, cliff high. Silver market to break free by May. Break free of what, Cliff? Love Cliff. And we're already seeing the talk around silver, and Cliff's web bots go out and measure the change in language, and I can already see the language changing around silver. A lot more reports. My language is changing around silver. It's a lot of excitement around silver because it's severely suppressed, and the world is looking at the collapse of the system. So yeah, now's the time you want physical in your own hand, and the language is coming out on the internet, and that's what Cliff measures. Will he get silver right this time? I hope so. He has a jump in silver prices at the end of April, beginning of May, and then a slam down. Steve Mnuchin will slam down the price, and then another one the end of May into June, I think, and then a rest period, and then all hell breaks loose in August, September. But buy the WebBot report. Go to halfpasthuman.com and buy Cliff's report. Anyway, this is BIX Weird. This is my morning news. The Horn of Z's. The Horn of Z's. I'll be releasing another video today, and still working on the book. It's going to be a while. There's just so much real hard data, SRS Rocco, real hard data about all the secret gold that's been available to humanity. So, roadtoroota.com. Don't forget to sign up, and we'll talk to you later.